Day 21 of 30 days of vlogging. Let the day begin.
Coochie out the queen, put some Lulu on his butt.
And on today's episode, we are making an aloe vera, pineapple, and cucumber juice. There's the cucumbers right there, the pineapples, and the aloe vera. So first, I'm going to go ahead and put all of the ingredients, or as much as I can in this first go round, into the blender. And if you go online and look up all of the many benefits of cucumbers, pineapples, you guys know what Ply said about pineapples. But aloe vera, this is all good for your stomach, your overall health, your skin, just making you smell better, feel better, etc. So I'm going to go ahead to that and add some spring water. Whenever I'm juicing or whenever I am making juice like this, I always use spring water. So I just prefer to use that over purified water. So we're going to put some of this in and then turn the juicer on. I mean, not the juicer, but turn the blender on and blend. All right, now let me go ahead and add the other ingredients. I'm going to have to do this in batches. This is my first time making this too, by the way, so I'm really curious to see how it turns out. And what I'm gonna do is dilute it with more water. So this is probably gonna make a few jars, but I wanna at least get it all blended. Let's see. That's probably not a good idea. Let's go ahead and wipe that off. Hey, we're experimenting. So what I'm gonna do is, because there's so much in here, I'm going to do a little taste test and then pour some out. Ooh. So here's our glass. And what I did was I added some spring water to the glass. All right, first taste. It's actually not bad. You know, I thought that the avocado, not the avocado, I eat too many of those, that the aloe vera would make it slimy, but it actually is not slimy and it's not sweet. So if you're like me, I don't really like sweet juices. I like where it's just like perfectly balanced. And I feel like this is a perfectly balanced taste and juice, not too sweet, not too sour. Yep, that's really good. Now, if you put it in a refrigerator and serve it over some cold ice, it's going to be even better. But this is going to be good, and I'm looking forward to see the results. So we're going to go ahead and finish blending. So I actually have one of these mason jars, and I get all of my mason jars pretty much at Goodwill. They have like everything. I'm a huge thrifter, so I get a lot of my kitchen supplies, like my pots and pans from Goodwill. I get some of the best pots and pans from there, like my baking dishes and stuff like that. Yeah, Goodwill. You don't have to cook in cheap dishes that will ruin the flavor of your food. You can go there and find like the best pots and pans, and a lot of the stuff is brand new or gently used. So I always go there and look first when I'm on a hunt for something. So my mason jars, I definitely get them all from Goodwill, because why would I spend full price when I can go there and get them? All right, here's the rest of it, and let's go ahead and get this blended.
Take and pour the juice into a large container so that I can stir everything up and then add it back to the containers that I have. So, let's see, we have that. Let me see if I can, I'm still learning how to adjust my camera, so bear with me. We're a work in progress, but you guys get the point. So let me go ahead and stir this up and then pour it into some jars. So I'll just go ahead and pour that back in. I think I have enough water added. I use like half of that gallon of spring water. So, and then I also use these. I get a lot of these from the Container Store or at Goodwill. So these are like perfect if you're into juicing. You can use these, or you can use the mason jars or the small mason jars. But this type of jar and this one, these are two of my favorites. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that. Oops, spilled some into there. And now I have 2 jars of aloe vera, pineapple, and cucumber juice that we'll drink throughout the week and experience all of the many health benefits that this juice provides.
Absolutely delicious. Shout out to the Saints fans. Now, I live in Atlanta, so you know I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. But shout out to the Saints, because they're an amazing team. They are an amazing team as well. But yeah, kudos to this amazing drink. Aloe vera, cucumber, and pineapple. I gotta remember it all. With some spring water blended together. It's really good, for real. I probably should add some ice, but I'm okay without having the ice. It tastes really good just like this. So be sure to make you some. So what I used was two aloe vera, whatever you call them, the two stalks of aloe vera, 1 whole pineapple, and 1 of those cucumbers that comes in a plastic wrap. I probably should have the name. I got to get the name of it. I'll add that once I post the video. An English cucumber, I think that's what it's called. So you remove the skin off the aloe vera. I left the English cucumber skin on. Now, if I used a regular cucumber, I would remove the skin, because that probably has a lot of pesticides on it. So I removed that. Remove the skin from the pineapple, and then make sure you add at least a half gallon of spring water. You can dilute it even more, but I just used a half gallon of spring water. And so, yeah, make you some. It's good. It's good for your gut. It's good for you. Good for your skin. Helps you to stay youthful, because we're not aging fast over here, baby. We're 23 for life, okay? That's it. So get you some juice. Take care of your body. Exercise. Live right. Eat well. And most importantly, do good by yourself, okay? All right, here's how I make Spanish rice. So You do the black beans, rinse them off, jasmine rice, rinse that off. So I have 2 cups of jasmine rice to 1 box of black beans that are rinsed. And I'm going to add some olive oil to the pan. 1 pack of Sazon. Let me see. 1 pack of that. I really try not to use this too much because it has MSG. And I do have another brand that doesn't have it, but the flavor is not the same. So today I am using it. Then I'm going to add some garlic powder. Now, I normally like to make like homemade sofrito, where I'll do like garlic, cilantro, onions, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, but I don't have any, so I just put like some cilantro, some dry cilantro. This is like the quick version. Then I'm gonna put some salt. Probably need to. I don't feel like moving the camera, so bear with me. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do, so for every 1 cup of jasmine rice, you use 1 1/4 cup of water. So I'm gonna do 2.5 cups. Now you can use water or chicken broth, so I'm gonna use some chicken broth. So I'm gonna do 2.5 cups. All right. And then I'm gonna let it come to, so I use the low sodium. I actually prefer low sodium or no salt. No salt preferably, because since I'm already seasoning it with some salt. So try your best to use low sodium or no salt. So we're gonna go ahead and stir this all up. And then once it comes to a boil, then I'm gonna put the lid on, and I am going to turn it down low and let it cook on medium low for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we will have the perfect Spanish rice. All right, so this is some chicken thighs that I seasoned and cooked in the oven for 35 minutes on 425. And they are actually looking good. I just seasoned them with some random spices that I have. So we are going to have that with some Spanish rice. I wish I had some avocados, because that would really be amazing. But I don't, so I'm just gonna use what I have. But yeah, the rice is still coming to a boil. So once that comes to a boil, like I said, I'm going to put the lid on and keep it moving. So you want to take that lid off, and it is done. Let's pull you a little closer. Fluff it up, and there you are. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm just going to let it sit, but pull it closer, see if you can see that. Oops, it's okay. So yeah, you don't want your rice to be gooey and watery and big and fluffy. You want your kernels to be perfectly separated. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes later, and look, it's just perfect. Now, I know some people like the burnt part, but I do not like the burnt part, so I try to be careful not to scrape that up. But yeah, there's your Spanish rice, quick and easy. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and put all the food in individual containers for meal prep. And this is what I'll be doing. Let's see, I got all of that. All right. So I'm just gonna scoop some into each container. Oops, it's a little messy, but it's all good. Alright, so roughly that 2 cups of rice was enough for 5 containers. And like I said, I don't like that part. I don't. So I don't scrape that out. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and put 2 of those in. Actually, that one is pretty big. So I'll just put 1 in this one since that's pretty big. And then yeah, so now you have meal prepped containers. It's a little messy, but it's all good. I'll clean that up. And yeah, that's that.